What's good, YouTube? I'm going to address this for the final time because a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, keep asking me what's going on. And I'm going to address it for the final time. I'm going to play this video first, and then I'm going to address it. First, I'm going to play the video, and then I'm going to address it.
Over me, and you feel like I'm not a good person, I feel the same way Khaotic. So we on the same page.
No, but he does not feel that way.
He just said it. He said, hey, if you feel like I'm not a good person in your life, then you need to stay like that, and I'm going to stand on that. And we going to stand on it.
No.
Let's stand on it.
No.
We going to stand on it.
No, he does not. Stop. He did not say that.
What I said was, if you feel like I'm a bad person, then you...
Is the atmosphere on the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta set was electric charged, with the kind of tension only reality TV could bring. The cameras were rolling, capturing the latest chapter in a season that had already seen its fair share of explosive moments, but no one, not even the season crew, could have predicted the raw intensity that would unfold when Scrappy and Khaotic were thrown into the same scene. What was meant to be just another scripted confrontation quickly escalated into a fiery clash, one that would leave the cast and the audience shocked. The day started like any other. The crew had prepared for another round of chaotic filming with multiple story lines bubbling to the surface, but for Scrappy it was a different kind of day. He had been dealing with a lot of personal pressure lately, family issues, relationship drama, and the constant spotlight of the show. All of it had been weighing on him, pushing him to his breaking point. But it wasn't just the usual stress that had Scrappy on edge. Today it was Khaotic. Khaotic, the brash newcomer, had been stirring the pot ever since he joined the show, known for his sharp tongue and even sharper attitude. Khaotic had no issue picking fights, especially if it meant getting attention. Scrappy, having spent years in the spotlight, wasn't impressed by Khaotic's antics, but there was something about the way Khaotic had been challenging him lately, mocking him, trying to get under his skin, that had been driving Scrappy crazy. The tension between the two men had been building for weeks.
Okay, but this is not about that right now. This is about you. How do you feel about him?
No, I never said I had a problem with him. No, this what he do. This what he do. He say something crazy, and he be like, oh, I ain't got no beef. I ain't got no stuff. Khaotic always try to play a victim. He'll start some then he want to be like, I don't want no beef, man. If you got an issue, stand on it. If not, sit down and shut up, bro. At the end of the day, like I said, bro, it don't even really matter. Cuz gonna try to goddamn, he want everybody to be like, oh my God.
No, because we're so grown, we can really make an assessment of our own thoughts here.
I be watching cuz I be like, oh.
Okay, so wait.
You know what your problem is? I ain't got no problem with my
All right, so that right there is what just aired on Love and Hip Hop. Now, Scrappy said, I like to start stuff and then play the victim, right? First of all, I'm going to just start with that part.
Weeks Khaotic had been subtly undermining Scrappy's reputation, poking fun at his past relationships and taking jabs at his status within the Love and Hip Hop circle. Scrappy had tried to ignore it, but today he couldn't hold it in anymore. The scene started innocently enough. The producers had set up a confrontation between the two men, assuming it would be just another round of verbal sparring. They were wrong. As the cameras rolled, Khaotic immediately went on the offensive, his voice dripping with mockery. You've been on this show for how long, and you still don't know how to handle your business. Her Khaotic's words were like daggers aimed at Scrappy's pride. His smirk only made things worse, a look of someone who was eager to provoke a reaction. Scrappy's jaw clenched, his patience starting to wear thin. He had been trying to stay calm to keep his cool, but Khaotic's incessant taunting was starting to get under his skin. Scrappy was no stranger to conflict, but this was different. Khaotic wasn't just talking about his personal life or relationships. He was attacking his very credibility, his identity on the show, and that was something Scrappy wasn't willing to let. "Slide man, you need to watch your mouth," Scrappy muttered, his voice low but filled with warning. Khaotic, of course, wasn't one to back down. Instead he pushed harder. "Watch my mouth now, I'm just calling it like I see it. You ain't built like you used to be, Scrappy, you're just another washed up dude pretending to still be relevant." His words cut through the tension in the room like a blade. "That was it," Scrappy snapped. In one swift motion his hand shot out, delivering a sharp slap across Khaotic's face. The sound of the impact echoed through the set, a loud crack that seemed to freeze everything in place. For a brief moment the crew who had been filming with bated breath gasped collectively as Khaotic's head snapped to the side, his expression one of disbelief and sudden fury. Khaotic, stunned for a split second, quickly regained his composure. His eyes burned with anger as he lunged toward Scrappy, pushing past the security team that rushed to intervene. The camera zoomed in, capturing the chaos that was unfolding in real time. There was no turning back now. The slap had ignited a fire that neither man seemed willing to put out. "You think you can just slap me and get away with it?" Khaotic growled, his fist clenched and his body tense with rage. Scrappy stood his ground, his chest heaving with the adrenaline rush, his own anger matching Khaotic's. "You've been running your mouth too long," Scrappy shot back, his voice thick with venom. "Now you see what happens when you don't know how to shut it." The cast and crew were scattered around the scene, watching in stunned silence as the two men squared off, still restrained by security. The tension in the room was unbearable, the sound of harsh breathing and muffled shouts the only thing breaking the silence. It was clear that this wasn't just about the slap anymore, it was about respect, about two men who had reached a breaking point, both too proud to back down. The producers, realizing the situation had escalated far beyond what they had intended, quickly called for a break. The crew rushed to separate the men, pulling them in opposite directions, trying to de-escalate the situation. But even as the cameras continued to roll, the damage had already been done. The slap was a symbol of everything that had been bubbling beneath the surface between Scrappy and Khaotic. The tension, the rivalry, the power struggle for Scrappy. The slap wasn't just an impulsive reaction, it was a statement. He wasn't going to let anyone, not even Khaotic, try to take his place or disrespect him in front of the world. The conflict may have ended for now, but it was clear that the animosity between them was far from finished, and as the cameras continued to capture the aftermath, it was evident that LoveAndHipHopAtlanta had just witnessed one of its most explosive moments yet. Anger rising, his eyes locked onto Khaotic, a dangerous calm settling over him as the crowd around them buzzed with anticipation. Scrappy's muscles tightened, and the tension in the air was palpable. Bambi, standing nearby, could feel the storm brewing. She had heard Khaotic's disrespectful words, and she knew her husband would not take it lightly. Khaotic, for his part, was no stranger to confrontation. He had always carried a chip on his shoulder and often found himself in verbal clashes with the other cast members, but this time the stakes were different. This time it was personal. Scrappy wasn't about to let anyone disrespect his wife, not on stage, not in front of an audience, and certainly not without consequences. In one swift motion, Lil Scrappy stepped toward Khaotic, his patience running thin. The crowd began murmuring, sensing what was about to happen. Khaotic, still smirking, didn't back down. He was used to being the center of attention, but he quickly realized that the situation had escalated far beyond his expectations. Without warning, Lil Scrappy raised his hand and slapped Khaotic across the face. The sound of the slap echoed through the room, follow her face a mix of relief and pride. She had always known that Scrappy would protect her, but seeing him stand up for her so fiercely was something that stirred something deep within her. She knew they had a bond that couldn't be broken, and in that moment Scrappy's action spoke louder than any words ever. Could the rest of the cast watched in stunned silence, some unsure how to react, others perhaps secretly relieved that someone had finally put Khaotic in his place. For Lil Scrappy the message was clear: family first no matter the cost. The show continued, but the atmosphere had shifted. There would be no forgetting the slap that resonated throughout the room, a reminder of the length Scrappy would go to for those he loved. As the cameras panned out, the question lingered in the air: how would this alter the dynamic of the group moving forward? Would Khaotic retaliate, or had he finally met his match in Lil Scrappy? Whatever happened next,
He never started nothing with the man. He said, I like to talk crazy. I never talk crazy. You feel me? All this started because of Scrappy. He went on TV and started this on TV with me. That's how this whole thing started. He started it at the Spice concert, ran up on me on camera. And I addressed it because everybody like, what's going on with Scrappy and Khaotic? Scrappy and Khaotic had a fight. And I'm like, nah, we ain't had no fight. Oh, what's going on? Oh, from what I'm thinking, from what he was saying, oh, Khaotic mad about some YouTube. He mad at me about a YouTube channel. Okay, so I addressed it. Whole time, he the one who called me out my name, disrespecting me, talking gangster. I never talked gangster. I never threatened him. I don't play no victim. I just don't do all that fake gangster talking and all that there. You came at me talking gangster. First of all, if I say anything slick or say anything crazy out my mouth, I got the right to anyway. Because let's go back to how you talk to me. Let's go back to how you talk to me when you address me, right? Let me see if I got that in my phone. Let's go back to how you talk to me when you addressed me. Let me just see if I got that in my phone. Let's see.
He right there filming me, doing all this shit because he had to use me to get
Hold
it
on. Now this is how you talk about me.
Khaotic is a girl. He's a whole girl. Everywhere I was at, he right there filming me, doing all this shit because he had to use me to get it up there.